Today we'll be looking at the top 5 Marvel rival team-ups in Season 0. Although I believe each one of these 5 is broken in its own way, I believe that number 1 is shockingly overpowered. I want you to guess right now what number 1 will be, and by the end of this video, let me know if you guessed it right. I will be going through each of these team-ups and give you the statistics on why I think these are broken and why they are the best in this season. Now, let's start off with number 5. Magic, Black Panther, and Psylocke. This team-up has Magic as its leader or anchor, with Psylocke and Black Panther getting those abilities. The abilities that Psylocke and Black Panther have is the ability to travel a few seconds back to a different position where they were and regain the health that they lost in between of those seconds. This means that if Psylocke and Black Panther were to go in and dive into a fight and expect not to win this fight, they can just press the C button on PC and travel back a few seconds like a Tracer recall would and regain the health that they lost in between that fight and basically have a second life. This is overpowered because as a Psylocke main myself, if I go in and dive and kill one healer but I think that I'm about to die, I can just use this ability, drop back, regain my health, and go in and fight immediately instead of having to die and wait and respawn and all that. Same thing with the Black Panther. It's just overpowered in its own way. It's basically having a second life. Although there isn't much more to this ability than just going back, I think that throughout this list, it gets more and more deeper, so stay tuned. At number 4, we have Luna Snow, Jeff, and Namor. Luna Snow is our anchor and leader for this team up. Namor and Jeff get this ability. The ability that Luna Snow gives off to these two characters is the ability to infuse their powers with ice. Now, Namor has this ability where he can drop basically sentries or turrets that are octopuses. Now, by default, Namor has an octopus that has 100 HP. This octopus shoots 2 shots per second, dealing 17 damage each bullet. However, whenever it infused with Luna Snow with this team up, it does 5 shots per second and dealing 11 damage per bullet. With the ice ability, he goes from doing 34 damage by default to doing a whopping 55. He does 55 damage a second with his turret. Think about that. As a Namor, you have your own spear and you have a turret shooting enemies with you. If the opposite team has a Spider-Man or a Psylocke or a dive, that is getting obliterated with this turrets because they have auto aim. Aimbot, they got hacks. Besides his normal octopus getting a buff, he will also get another octopus which is called Frozen Spawn. Frozen Spawn is basically an even more buffed version of the octopus that has 200 HP. It shoots about 1.65 bullets per second, and then it also shoots 3.65 during Berserker mode. This octopus does 25 damage per bullet and in total has 17 mags and does around 425 damage in total. So one turret will do 425 damage while the other one will be shooting at you with 55 damage per bullet. Do you know how insane and how much damage that is? There's no wonder that every Namor gets MVP by the end of the game because all they do is rack up damage. Namor, I think, is the best counter dive to ever be put in the game and is a very, very big sleeper character. And that's not even the end of it. We still have Jeff the Shark. Jeff has his Aqua Burst, which is basically his right click, and it's basically a spitball. He shoots 1.7 shots per second and does 25 damage per hit. He also has splash damage. He does 40 splash damage in around a radius of 3 meters. And that was just his default spitball. Now again, infused with the anchor Luna Snow, the team up will allow him to shoot 1.7 shots per second still and do 5 more damage, so in total 30 damage per bullet, and his splash damage radius is increased to 5 meters. So not only does he get a buff in damage, but his radius of splash damage increases as well. And if you think that was enough for Jeff, it's not. So besides the 25 damage increase to 30 and the 3 meter radius turning into 5, he also slows down enemies by 15% whenever they are hit by the spitball. In a stressful battle, whenever anyone is trying to take the point or objective, getting hit with that ice infused spitball will do you damage. It's more annoying than you think. And if you have a Luna and you have a Namor, think about the turret, the spitball, and Luna's ult. It's just so much going on that this team up could be the changing tide of the game. Although I think number 4 is a perfectly fine number for this team up, I think number 3 gets even more crazier. Number 3, similar to number 5, only has one ability, but this one ability again could also be a game changer. Number 3, Adam Warlock, Mantis, and Star-Lord. Adam Warlock is our anchor or leader for this team up, and this ability has a cooldown of around 105 seconds. That's a pretty long cooldown, and you may be wondering, what could that ability possibly be? Well, besides Adam Warlock passively getting a 15% healing bonus in this team up, whenever Mantis and Star-Lord die, essentially become revived by cocooning themselves and going away from danger and reviving themselves wherever they please. Dying as a healer is probably one of the worst things that can happen in a competitive game because we rely on the healers. So if you die, but you have an Adam Warlock on your team and you're a Mantis or Star-Lord, you can literally float to safety and revive yourself. If you're thinking about it, if it's at 99%, the objective is at 99%, and they're trying to ult and stay on site and control the point, if you die as a support, your team is kind of let down. But with Adam Warlock, you revive yourself and you're back in the game just like like that. Same thing with Star-Lord. You can revive yourself just like Mantis, and you get back in the game, use your ult, win the game, get the ace, and you're all good. Although it's just one ability, this ability kind of has more objective importance to me. Again, this is all just my opinion on what is the top 5 best team-ups. If you guys think there's a team-up better than this, please let me know. This is just my experience. This is my opinion. I'm not right and I'm not wrong, and neither are you. And now for number 2, Iron Man, Hulk, and Doctor Strange. This team-up is abused in competitive and high rank right now. Those 3 are so crazy with each other, it's just cancerous at this point. In this team-up, Hulk is our anchor. Essentially what this team-up does is Hulk charges Iron Man and Doctor Strange with gamma radiation, and you'll just be shocked at how much buff they get. Starting off with Iron Man. Iron Man has an ability called Unibeam, which is basically that long straight laser beam that he shoots out and just absolutely lasers you. So Unibeam by default does 120 damage per second. Iron Man also has the ability to go in overdrive, and with overdrive doing 180 damage per second. That's a big boost. This is without the team up. Iron Man, whenever on the same team as Hulk, goes from doing 120 damage per second with his Unibeam to doing 220 damage. That's 100 more damage per second. That's insane. We all know that Hela is broken. The reason why Hela is broken this season is because she has a season bonus of doing 20% more damage. If you put that into this situation, Iron Man has a bonus of 22% more damage. That is a lot. I know in my tier list video, if you haven't seen that already, I put Iron Man at a pretty low tier. But in this team up, he definitely becomes at least an A. So Doctor Strange essentially also gets a damage boost for his left click. Imagine you're shooting, your melee, your frame canceling, you'll just rack up to 100 dark energy and do so much damage as Doctor Strange and block so much damage at the same time. Imagine doing all this while you have an Iron Man DPS in the air doing absolute damage and having a Hulk diving and killing their support. And last thing about Doctor Strange with this team up, whenever he raises his dark energy to like 100, if he doesn't release it, he gets an anti-heal and can't be healed back. But with this team up, that just goes away. That just does not exist. Hulk gives him his gamma radiation and there's no anti-heal for him anymore. Doctor Strange is just broken. Last but not least, we have the best team up that I think is in this game right now. Rocket Raccoon, the Punisher, and the Winter Soldier. This team up has Raccoon as its leader or anchor, and what he does is drop an overload device that has a radius, and within that radius, the Winter Soldier or the Punisher gets unlimited ammo and a faster firing rate. So whenever you are in the radius of this overload device, your firing rate increases by 67%. That is crazy. That is actually crazy. Punisher already shoots fast. 67% faster? Is this just a laser? And add that onto the fact that he doesn't have to reload. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? The Punisher's rifle does 18/36 damage per bullet within a 30-round magazine, and he shoots around 10 bullets per second. However, instead of 10 bullets per second, becomes 16.7 bullets per second. 16 bullets that do 18 damage each. Hello? If you hit all your shots with this increased firing rate, that means you could do a potential of 300 damage per second. 300 damage per second as the Punisher with this team up. 300 is an unbelievable number, and that's just his primary. Imagine the turret having a whole healer behind him, just feeding him with a fast firing rate and unlimited heals. Absolutely broken. And this also goes for the Winter Soldier. Just as I'm scared of Judge, Jury, Executioner, if I have to hear the word again, I don't think I could take it much longer. I'm sorry. But again, and again, I'm sick and tired of it. Just like the Punisher, the Winter Soldier's firing rate also increases by 67%. And with this fast firing rate, you also get unlimited ammo within the radius of Raccoon's device. The Winter Soldier has around 3 bullets in his round, and each bullet does 70 damage, but is also like an explosive. So statistically, he can shoot around 2.5 bullets per second. But with the 67% faster fire rate, he can shoot around 4.2 bullets per second. He's basically doing 294 damage per second if he just keeps on letting it rip. That's basically killing a straight DPS, healer, anything that's not a tank in under a second. That is just absolutely crazy. Don't forget that there's still another 3 people on the same team. So if you have the Punisher, the Winter Soldier, and Raccoon, you still have to worry about those 3 other characters. Those 3 themselves in that team up can solo wipe an entire team. This is why I believe that this team up is just absolutely broken and deserves the #1 spot. If you think any different, please let me know. I would love to hear your input, and please like and comment and subscribe for more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.